Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Sporting the nice Chelsea polo shirt today. Lovely stuff. We're going to get out some more Chelsea shirts recently. That's some of them. I have more. But a lot of them aren't real and make me look fat. And that's largely because I have become fat lately, but I'm working on it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Not in the studio today. No, we're in the office. Today we're going to talk about Julian Nagelsmann, what his agent has been saying about the Blues, slagging us off. Did I break up with you or did you break up with me? Well, everyone's always got a different story. We're going to speak about Pochettino's transfer targets. Really important ones, of course, are goalkeeper and striker. And two of our primary targets play for Champions League finalists Internazionale. Inter Milan. Of course, Torre Martinez, we're going to speak about him, look at his stats, and of course, Andrea Ranocchia. Lots to get into, and I don't really want to talk about it too much, but he wants another Argentine player, of course, in Alexis Mac Allister of Brighton. Although I have Brighton PTSD personally, and I'm not overly excited about us going back in and spending a silly amount of money on a Brighton player. And then we'd have loads of Argentinian players. We could have Lautaro, Enzo, Mac Allister, load them all over the gaff. Yes, lots to get into today. Thanks for joining me on today's video. Do consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. You don't have to, but should you choose to do so, you should hit the bell notifications icon because I'm uploading about 2 videos a day at the moment. I actually uploaded a really fun video. It's not ranked very highly. It hasn't got many views, but I had such a good time doing it. It's Chelsea AI. It's my previous upload. It's very funny. If you want to have a bit of fun and you think you might enjoy it, check it out. And thanks for liking the video. That's nice. Alright, before we talk about these transfer targets, let's speak about Julian Nagelsmann's agent slagging off the Chels. Of course, Chelsea interviewed Julian Nagelsmann. It seemed like our first choice for a long time. I covered it relatively extensively here on the channel. And then suddenly it was over. Much in like how it suddenly is over with him in Tottenham Hotspur. And we heard multiple conflicting reports that Chelsea were actually never that interested anyway, and we wanted Mauricio Pochettino as our primary target, and obviously from his camp, people coming out saying, nah, they didn't fancy Chelsea, they dumped us. I know this is relevant, I do want to talk about it, because now his agents come out and said some negative stuff about us. So here's a very short article by Raf Holdingstein on The Athletic to give you some context of what has been said. The agent of Julian Nagelsmann, Volker Struff, it must be Australian, has claimed that the former Bayern Munich manager was right to turn down an offer to manage Chelsea. The Athletic reported that the West London club held an interest in the 35-year-old becoming their new head coach in the summer, but Nagelsmann dropped out of the running, with Chelsea recently agreeing a deal with Pochettino, of course, to take over, which could be announced imminently. We will, of course, react to the statement from Chelsea here on the channel. Make sure to subscribe. But Nagelsmann dropped out of the running. Yes, I read that. Struff said to Bild podcast, which of course Bild is the big German publication over in Deutschland. He says this, quote, I can confirm that Chelsea were quick to call Nagelsmann after his dismissal at Bayern Munich. There were some phone conversations. It was the right decision by Nagelsmann to not go there. It is a club in troubled waters at the moment, which is a dig, but would anyone disagree that Chelsea are in troubled waters? A lot of people would probably be unified in saying there's great potential for a bright future. But at the same time, we are in troubled waters at the moment. And as for the and he goes on to say, and as for their transfer policy, spending a few €100 million has raised expectations that need to be met. There were also some other issues. All right, mate. He was their number 1 choice, was he? That was our information. Well, I don't know. I guess when you interview someone, you're going to be like, look, mate, We don't want anyone else but you. You're our number one choice. Cool. We'll give you a call. Next. Look, mate, we don't want anyone else but you. I mean, that's generally how stuff usually works. I believe it would have happened had he wanted it. So he's saying Nagelsmann had the job if he wanted it, and he said no because it's a crap show. It's believed Chelsea did not accept Stroop's version of events, and that while the club was interested in Nagelsmann, he was not understood to be their first choice. It goes on, but I don't want to spend time on that. Yeah, man, look, same thing's happening at Tottenham. I reckon the problem is you, buddy. It would have been an exciting appointment. He's a good coach, but reservations of such a young guy. And, of course, if you're yet to watch the video when we speak about the madness behind Mauricio Pochettino, his aura, his lemon-powered aura-seeing, arrow-snapping, hot coal-walking methods, is the kind of thing that I want to see these useless Chelsea players go through. So do consider watching that. Right, so Chelsea need players. Despite having 476 players in the squad, we need a couple of notable players. Probably equally as much as we need to get rid of a load of players, of course, which is a really, really important thing as well. Before we talk about Torre Martinez, which we've been linked to for a while now, I haven't really spoken about it in detail, but we will today. Let's speak about Andrea Ranocchia. So he is a good footballing goalkeeper from Ajax originally, played there for a while. No one was really buying him. He ran down his contract, but he was constantly being linked to the bigger clubs as a really exciting, good shot stopper, but also the sort of total football goalkeeper who can knock it about with his feet confidently. Now, he left Ajax on a free. He went to Inter signed him, and now he'll probably be available for about 40 million euros. Has been touted prior to recent weeks. 40 million euros is about 34 million pounds, 36 million pounds. I don't know the conversion rate at the moment, but it's, it's free money for Inter because they sign him on a free. They sell him 12 months later, bro. 12 months later for serious money. Great business if you can get it. Not the kind of stuff Chelsea does. Chelsea wastes money. Inter seemingly makes money by selling Lukaku for 98 million pounds. Actually, a quick pause just to reference Lukaku. Of course, yet again, was a useful player off the bench for Inter, and obviously he's been starting in the league, scoring goals, getting assists. He got the assist for the game in the Milan derby yesterday for Lautaro. He did a really kind of semi-touching interview with CBS Sports, Thierry Henry and the gang, and all those things with Mika Richards, Carragher. I forget the host's name. She's very good. She's also very pretty. Yeah, and he was kind of like relatively moving about, his time after the World Cup, how it sounded like he was in a really dark place. Thierry Henry was messaging him every day, like really worried about, like serious concern about where he was, because he felt like he let his country down, to a degree. Football-wise, there was an element of that, but he's come back and he's playing really, really well. And it's good to see him look happy and speak, but I just don't think, despite all that, I don't think Chelsea is the answer. Anyway, I was referencing Lukaku because they fleeced us for him for about 100 million. Look, man, he was absolutely scintillating form for 2 years for Inter and Belgium. I get it. Like, no one, he cost Inter he cost Man United 75 million. And he went on, scored more goals, won the MVP, won the Scudetto, was sold back to a Premier League club when they didn't want to sell. It's always going to be about that money, so I kind of understand it. And yeah, they've made a lot of money. They sold Hakimi for 70 million to of course, Paris Saint-Germain. So they've been in financial peril for a while. Certainly financial trouble since winning the Scudetto originally with Antonio Conte. That's why Conte left, because he knew there were money troubles and they'll have to sell players like Achraf Hakimi and Romelu Lukaku. But that's why it makes you think they'll be tempted to sell Andrea Ranocchia, because it's free money and it can help them out in their situation. If they win the Champions League, he'll cost more? A Champions League winning goalkeeper? I don't know. If that's how it works, then we should be plastering that all over Edouard Mendy's body when we put him in the shop window. Yeah, look, you're going to say that Andrea Ranocchia, Champions League winning goalkeeper. Mendy is too. £60 million, please. Not sure that's going to work. I don't think Inter are going to win the Champions League. At this point, I would like them to, because I don't want Manchester City to win the Champions League as a Premier League rival fan. Now, in the same sentence, should Romelu Lukaku win the Champions League, maybe we'll be in a position to also plaster that, element all over him and say, well, you want to give us that title, we'll sell you a Champions League winning striker, the one you've currently got on loan and used to have, and maybe a deal can be done. Look, Andrea Ranocchia has got loads of clean sheets. He's in the top 94th percentile for that. He's obviously very good with his feet. He is a 27-year-old, which is entering the prime of a goalkeeper, you'd have to say. Cameroon international, very, very good player. Let me know what you think of Andrea Ranocchia. I think it's an interesting transfer target and probably one of the more realistic ones. It really will come down to what Mauricio Pochettino wants. Now, another target for the big Poch man would be Torre Martinez, his countryman of Argentina. 25-year-old striker, actually having a scintillating season statistic-wise, despite Inter not doing well in the league, or generally not throughout the season. He has got a lot of goals. Like, Lautaro was never the main man, was he? Like, Dzeko has sort of stepped in for Lukaku and done all right at times, scored big goals at times in the reverse leg for this Milan derby in the Champions League semi-final. He scored a lovely goal. But yeah, he's obviously not been prolific. He's old, dude. He's like 37, 38. Lautaro was always like the cloak and dagger man behind big sort of Galactico striker Romelu Lukaku in those 2 seasons. They've kind of role reversed now. In the league, in 25 appearances, Lautaro Martinez in a misfiring Inter Milan side generally throughout the season. He scored 20 goals and registered 5 assists. So that is 25 league goal contributions in 25 appearances in 2,400 minutes, which is very, very, very good. And he's a hard worker. He runs about a bit. And he's got a great relationship with Lukaku on the pitch. You can see it even now, even after that time together. You look at his scouting report on FBref. I'll tell you what, this is interesting. His strongest attributes on his scouting report, this is Lautaro Martinez, is his highest is interceptions for a striker, which actually, for a team and systemic approach in the Premier League, is probably really good. Everyone likes a high press and a high turnover, not least Mauricio Pochettino. Of course, Tuchel was obsessed with it at Chelsea. He loved Mason Mount for that kind of stuff. So if a striker can do that, they're very useful. He takes 4 shots per game, which is a lot. There's a lot of shots. You don't buy a ticket, you've got to do it, man. So 4 shots is good. Goal creating actions from defence is good. He's really hard-working. Passes, blocks, ball recoveries, tackles and interceptions. These are all his strongest metrics in the Inter side, despite scoring, a lot of goals, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, this dude has scored a lot of goals. The only thing is, let's talk about this. Lautaro Martinez, who cost a lot of money. Look, Inter might find a way where they can sign Lukaku on a permanent, sign a new striker, sell us Lautaro, somehow make more money. Like, we flog him back Lukaku for the price of 40 million euros in terms of, cash back, and then buy Lautaro for 100 million. So they just somehow, do you know what I mean, make money on top of keeping Lukaku, and then they sell Onana for 40 million. I don't want to talk about Andrea Ranocchia. You can keep him in isolation. We really need a goalkeeper. We're probably going to sell our 2. So, whatever. You buy Onana, you're like, okay, we've got a goalkeeper. What next? What happens now? We will need a striker. It does. Pochettino just want Lautaro because he's Argentine, wicked striker. Do you know what I mean? Is he the answer in the Premier League? I do not think so. In the same way, I'll have similar reservations for Victor Osimhen. Osimhen looks like an absolute beast because he just scores loads of goals and he's got that proper number 9 about him. So no one would be upset should you sign Victor Osimhen, even though it would cost silly money. So with that, bro, like, I'm not overly, like, convinced for either. There's talks about Harry Kane. I would just love Harry Kane, man. I think he's the ultimate dead cert of value, of like achieving value in the Premier League. I just want to see if I'm in focus. I think I am, yeah. And in terms of achieving value in the Premier League, he will score goals regardless. He'll just always score goals. He always does. He's after that record. Despite that, he's a team player. He gets assists. He runs the channels. He will do, like, you know, the high press. He knows Pochettino, how to play Pochettino's football. I would love it, and I think I deserve, as the meme goes, but I don't think it will happen. I think it will go to Man United. Tottenham fans at this point have probably made peace with him going to Man United, but probably not Chelsea. But it would just be so fun. Hold the microphone, double clutch, MF Doom. It would just be so fun if Mauricio Pochettino and Harry Kane, the best two things about Tottenham Hotspur this last decade plus, go to Chelsea together. That would be really giving me my football joy back, of which it has been depleted and I've been robbed of it for so long. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Still, you know, getting a midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a striker, and flogging the rest of them and trying to, you know, develop players like, you know, the young defenders we've got, you know, Armando Broja, etc. Get the best out of Enzo, move him forwards a little bit. It's there for us, but, you know, we'll have to see. I'll of course cover all these stories as they develop, so make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe to this sweet, humble channel, Football Therapy. I thank you for all your continued support and interactions. You can do that by liking and sharing and commenting, and yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Thanks for joining me. Peace.